Hi quilters, welcome back to my channel, Pages and Stitches. That's spelled pages, the number 3 stitches, both here on YouTube and on Instagram. My name is Kelly and I'm here to give you my September 2022 quilting update. Thank you so much for being here. I know that most everybody that's on my, or that subscribes to my channel is there for cross-stitching videos. So if you're here because you're watching the quilting videos, I know it's because you genuinely like quilting, and we're kind of in the minority here, so I really appreciate you being here because this part of my channel doesn't get as much love. So thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, and this is your first time watching a Quilter's Corner video, hi. Thank you for stopping by. Again, my name is Kelly. My channel is mostly, it's entirely cross-stitching content and quilting content. For every quilters video I post, I also post a floss tube video. So if you are also looking for cross-stitching content, go to my page and check out those videos. And if those videos are how you found my quilters videos, great, wonderful. I hope you find something here that you like and that you are interested in and keeps you coming back for more. So thank you to everybody. All the thank yous. Okay, so if you have already seen my floss tube video, you'll have already seen this reading update. I always start with the reading update in both videos, but it's the same one. So if you've seen it already, you can skip this part. If you have not seen it already, I do a reading update at the beginning of every video to show what I've read this month, because aside from cross-stitching and quilting, reading is my other passion. So I'll go through that real quick and then we'll get into the quilting. Okay, so the first book that I read in September was The Ippos King by Grace Draven. This is book number 3 in her series, the Wraith King series. And then I read A Wallflower Christmas by Lisa Kleypas. And then I read Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. And then I read another Lisa Kleypas, and this is Stranger in My Arms. And then it was King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. And my next read after that was Will My Cat Eat My Eyeballs by Doughty. And then my current read, which I'm almost done with, is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. This is the first in a duology. All right, I just realized that I look like super severe on camera because I've got my hair pulled back and I'm wearing like dark makeup and a dark shirt, but I promised I'm nice. So let me, before we get into all of the projects and the whips and stuff, let me start by addressing some questions and comments that I got on my last video. First and foremost, I have some interest in whether or not I would be able to write a pattern for one of my previous projects. And I did look into it. I said I would look into it. I looked into it. And the reality is pattern writing is a process. And for the most part, it's a pricey process because you'll need, from what I can tell, you'll need some sort of program for pattern writing. And like the most affordable one is like $400. And then everybody else is saying like, if you're gonna pattern write, you need to get Adobe Illustrator, which is a lot more than that. And so at least for the time being, that's not gonna be in my future. If that ever changes, of course, I'll let you know. But I don't know. I'm not really looking to spend a bunch of money on an expensive pattern writing program. So far I just have the one, that people are interested in. So who knows if that changes in the future and I suddenly get, a spark of inspiration, maybe. But for the time being, my patterns are just going to live in my head. I'm sorry about that if you got your hopes up. The next question I wanted to answer was from Alma, the Tattooed Reading Owl. She was wondering about my design wall that I have over here behind me, like what it was made of. She asked if it was just like quilt batting, and the answer is no, it's not quilt batting. And while you could theoretically use that as a design wall, unless you kind of wrap the batting on something, it'll lose its shape after a while because it doesn't hold up very well to like hanging weight. Like eventually it would just tear and rip and stretch. So my design wall is actually not a traditional design wall, it's a cheap alternative. So I have 2 Walmart picnic table tablecloths that were like $8 a piece. I have 2 of them, and so on one side they're plasticky, and then on this side they're kind of like a felt sort of. And so I literally just flipped them over, tacked them on my wall, and they work perfect. Obviously, like the project that's on there now, there's nothing pinned, so it's just hanging there. So if you're looking for an affordable alternative to an expensive design wall, try that, because I mean, I could have cut it down to make it, you know, to make it to where I could access the top without a stepladder, but why do that, right? I can just use a stepladder. And I just got 2 of them to kind of overlap to make it wider, so it's pretty much the length of the wall. I would say it's about like, I don't know, 90 by 90 up there. So yeah, if you wanted to do that, you could. The suggestion my mother made was to wrap, which is what she did. She wrapped batting around like a foam board, like big sheets of foam board that came from a hardware store, and then put those on the wall so that way she could pin directly into them. So that's another option, also pretty affordable. I just couldn't be bothered to take that extra step and go the extra mile, I guess. So I literally just thumbtacked these tablecloths to my wall, and that's my design wall, and it works just fine. Okay dokie, so I was a busy bee in September. I got a lot accomplished in terms of quilting. Like the quilting bug really caught me. So I've got a lot of cool stuff to share with you today. I have 2 fully finished objects, completed quilt projects to show you. I have a new start, technically 2 new starts. And then of course I've got some whip updates and some haul to show you. So we'll start with the finishes. Last time I posted a video, you would have seen my Oracle quilt on the design wall. My goal for last month was to finish the quilt top and then just set it aside to be quilted at a later date. I always take my quilts to a professional long arm quilter, and I had an appointment in December, but I told my quilter, like, if you have any cancellations, you let me know, because I've always got something that needs to be quilted. So I finished my Oracle quilt top, which I was super pumped about, and not 4 days later, I got the call that there was an opening to get something quilted. And so it was just like serendipity. So I brought Oracle in and got it quilted and finished. And so I fully finished Oracle. And so I'm really excited to show you that. right, here she is, all stitched up and quilted, and I love her so much. This was such a fun project to design and to quilt. It was super fast, and the payoff, here's the thing, I love a quilt that's quick and easy, but has like a big impact, like a good payoff, because it's like you did the least amount of work for the most amount of result. I love that. And so this was one of those quilts for me, because it shows off the fabric line really well. And again, this fabric line is Oracle, designed by Eye Candy Quilts for Andover Fabrics. And let's see if I can give you some close-ups here. So remember, this is quilting themed tarot cards that came on a panel, right? So we got Ace of Needles, 3 of Needles, get another one, 2 of bobbins. So the 4 different types of cards that they have on here are needles, bobbins, bolts, and irons, which is just stunning and cute and fun. This one's cool. This one's like supposed to be one of the major arcana, so it's his strength. And then, yeah. So the quilting pattern, like the actual stitching pattern, is just this fun, let me see if I can show you up close, is this fun like star sky kind of swirly quilting pattern. Here's the back. It's that big kind of collage print on the back, and the binding is this the fern print, right? So this is the fabric on the back, and then here's the fabric I use for the binding. And then I supplemented the fabric line with this yellow and white dot and this sort of seafoam mint colored dot. And then the stripe on the side is a reproduction Civil War print. And I'm just tickled pink because I love this quilt so much. And I hope you guys like it too. And it's the perfect size. It's 60 by 75, so it's nice and long. I can curl up in it, covers my feet, and it's cozy. The batting is just a cotton batting. So it's not too heavy, not too stiff, just right. Okay, moving right along. The next finish I have to show you is actually a start to finish. I started it and finished it within one weekend. And I'm pretty excited about it for several reasons. So before I show it to you, if you had seen my video of all my previous finishes, you would have seen me show off these 2 quilts that were designed by Heine. They are Collage Quilts. The first one is called Deceased, and it's the skeleton wall hanging, and the second one I believe is called Perfect Form. Actually, I'm not sure about that. I'll insert the correct name, but it's the dress form. And so I discovered Heine from Fiberworks Quilt Shop when I went to the International Quilt Festival in Houston in like 2017, maybe even sooner than that. And we passed by the booth for their quilt shop, and I saw the dress form sample hanging on the side of the booth, and it stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, what is that? And so I ran up to it, checked it out. We went in the booth and we saw all her different samples kind of all over the place. And immediately I bought the kit for the dress form and learned how to do some collage quilting, just kind of read the instructions and kind of taught myself a few tips and tricks. And I just thought it was fantastic. I'd never heard of collage quilting before. I'd never done it before. And it ended up being tons of fun. So I have a couple of patterns from her that I have not yet done, but I went ahead and did another one from her. So here is the Heine pattern I did recently. This one is called Pretty in Pink. So obviously it's not a full-size quilt, it's a wall hanging, It is, I think approximately 24 inches by 24 inches, like it's small. And I did this for a special purpose. So the company I work for I work in healthcare. The company I work for every October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, does a contest, a Build a Bra contest. And it's to raise awareness for obviously for breast cancer, but also for breast reconstruction. In the title of the contest, the word BRA, B-R-A, stands for Breast Reconstruction Awareness. And so traditionally the way you compete in the contest is you decorate like an actual bra in some special way with a theme and a title and all that. And they get voted on by all the people that work for the company, and there's a couple different categories, and the winners are shown off in like public events during the month, and the winners get like a grab bag from the company with swag in it, just like, you know, cool stuff. So last year I competed and I submitted 2 bras, and I'll insert those pictures here. And I don't mean to brag or anything, but I swept the competition. So both my bras won in a category. The purple one, which I called the seashells, won in the category most likely to be worn. And yes, I did model it after Ariel's seashells because she's my queen. And then the other bra, which I called Mother Nature's Bra, actually won best overall, which was pretty exciting because I was not expecting that. And that one was tons of fun because obviously it's got like a bunch of flowers all over it and like a little bird's nest and mushrooms and butterflies. And so that one was really fun. And so to win those things was very rewarding. So this year I'm actually kind of going left of center for the competition. So it may or may not go over well for me because I'm submitting this as my entrant. So I did build a bra. I just built it using different materials, literally material. And I built a bra. I built this one. And there is a lot of like, let's see if I can show it off up close. There is a lot of symbolism in this piece. So, I mean, obviously the color pink is what the color they use to represent breast cancer in the pink ribbon. So I wanted it to be very floral. Obviously, I mean, Laura Heine's patterns are always very floral anyways, but I wanted it to be like excessively floral because when you come out of the other side of breast cancer, it's like a revival. It's like new growth, right? Like springtime. So I just wanted a lot of flowers everywhere. And then right here in the middle, and this little motif was cut out of a Tula Pink fabric. So I have this little owl, this little purple owl, and I put it in this spot for a reason. It's close to the heart. It sits right over the heart. Although I guess anatomically not really, because the heart is, so this is my left, so I guess the heart would be more like right here, but I digress. Anyways, I put this owl here by the heart because owls represent both wisdom and strength, and I think you need to have both in your tool belt if you're going to battle cancer. And so this one stays close to the heart. And then up here, Laura designed it with, you know, the pink ribbon, but I added to my ribbon, I added almost like a sky theme. So we've got a sun and we've got the cranes flying, but I gave my ribbon angel wings because unfortunately, not everybody who battles breast cancer wins that battle, which is very heartbreaking and sad. So I made my ribbon in a little angel, and it's carrying these ladies away. This one, this little cute lady in pink says, the little banner below her says faith. And then there's this gal too. So that's kind of like, you know, there's a little homage to all the people we've lost to the disease. But yeah, this is my start to finish. Let me show you the back. Nothing crazy. So both of these prints came from a line for Cotton and Steel designed by Melody Miller. She's one of my favorite fabric designers ever because she uses like colors like this. But yeah. What do you think? Do you think I stand a chance in the competition? I really don't know. Like, this could really go like totally not my way. Everybody could be like, that's not a real bra. So we'll see. I just kind of wanted to bridge the gap between my passion and the contest, really. So this kind of seemed like the perfect opportunity. What I'm gonna do with it afterwards, I have no idea. It was suggested that I donate it to our mammography department. So maybe I'll do that. See who wants it. I love it. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about the collage quilting process. So if you see collage quilting, or if you see the three projects I just posted and talked about, and it sparks your interest at all, go to, I've linked Laura Heine's shop down below. Of course, I've also linked the pattern, Pretty in Pink pattern. But I also wanted to talk about this product that I have in this tube here, which is Steam-A-Seam. Actually, it's Steam-A-Seam 2 Light. And so the way you do her collage quilts anyways is with this product. So it is a fusible, a double-sided like fusible adhesive, just like a web, a fine web of glue basically that you would trace onto the pattern and then attach your fabric to the Steam-A-Seam, iron it on, fussy cut out the shape, and then peel it off the paper, and it basically becomes like a fabric sticker that you can kind of use on your design wall to move around and find your layout. And then once you iron it again onto your background, it's there, it's stuck there. So that's how Steam-A-Seam works. I bought this on Amazon. You can get it at most quilt shops like Fat Quarter Shop and all that. You can get it in like sheets, like 9x12 sheets, or you can do massive quantities of it. So I got a 24-inch by 3-yard roll of it, but you can get as much as I think 25 yards. I mean, it's a little pricey at that point, but if you are at all interested in collage quilting, I highly suggest you invest in a really good chunk of Steam-A-Seam, because unfortunately there is a bit of waste. You do want to try and use it like conservatively, but there is, you know, as with most quilt projects, there is a certain amount of waste. So get a ton of it and go to town. And I will link this particular product that I got from Amazon down below. But like I said, if you want like a ton, you can get that on Amazon too. Alrighty, the next thing I want to talk about for the eagle-eyed among you, you will have noticed that I have a new project on the wall that you haven't seen before. And that's because instead of working on the whips that I said I was going to work on, I started something new, something entirely new. So that's what this is. So we'll talk about that. I was watching the Missouri Star Quilt Company's YouTube channel. If you are a quilter who's just starting out, or you're trying to learn, or you're looking for some inspiration, or if you just, you know, if you just get bored, go to Missouri Star Quilt Company's YouTube and watch their videos. So they have a playlist that I have been watching obsessively called the Triple Play, which is where I think it's every third Friday of the month, Jenny, Misty, and Natalie, the three ladies of Missouri Star Quilt Co., will each designed their own quilt around a theme. So there might be like a certain type of block that's the theme, or like a holiday, or a fabric line, you know, things like that. And so they'll each design a quilt. They have no idea what the other one's designed, and then they present it in these videos where they give you a tutorial, like a quick tutorial for including measurements and everything and fabric requirements for how to construct their quilts. That's fabulous. And then the patterns that are designed from their projects, they sell on their website. So all that to say, I was watching one of their videos where the theme was the Quatrefoil, which is this shape right here. That's a Quatrefoil shape. It's like kind of like a flower. It's got 4 petals. There's a point. So that's what a Quatrefoil is. If you are familiar with the Girl Scouts of America, they have a shortbread Quatrefoil cookie, which is delicious. Same shape. So I was watching one of those videos. They had the Quatrefoil as the theme, and Misty designed this pattern here, which she calls the Quatrefoil Shimmer. And I was like, I have to make that quilt. And I happened to have just purchased a fat quarter of this new line of fabric, which is called Slow Stroll, designed by Fancy That Design House for Moda. So I saw the line and I was like, oh, I gotta buy that because I love it. I don't know what to do with it. And then, you know, like I said, serendipity showed up a lot this month, because like right after I purchased it, I had seen the video for this pattern, and it was just like, it worked out. So when she designs the pattern, when Misty designed the pattern, she designed it to be used with a charm pack, which is 5-inch squares. And I had a layer cake, which is 10-inch squares. So I just cut it. Like, it worked out perfectly. And I'm done. I'm done. So there's only 16 blocks, like it's a small quilt, and I've finished it 2 days ago. So all of the fabric, the print fabrics, are from the line Slow Stroll. And this background fabric here, this kind of like light mauve color, is from a fabric line called Deco Stitch Elements for Art Gallery Fabrics. And I will insert a picture here of what that line looks like. And I don't know if the designer for Slow Stroll and the designer for Deco Stitch happen to be walking along the same path and had the same inspiration, but the colors for each of those fabric lines are exactly the same. I don't know how that worked out. I went looking for a background for this one, and I came across that line, and it was like all of them worked. It was just perfect. So yeah, I chose this kind of mauve-y color. And the thing is, I really, whenever I'm choosing a background for a quilt, I tend to shy away from plain white or cream or plain black. Like, I just find that so boring. I would much rather use a different color, or like a low volume print, or just something a little bit more unique, something that gives it more character than just plain white, you know? So that resulted in this, and I'm in love with the result. I will bring you in for a close-up so you can kind of see the details of the fabric. The only thing that is left to add, so I'm going to stitch all the blocks together, and then the only thing that's left to add is, so I'm kind of already getting into the haul portion, but it applies to this. So I have more of the background fabric. Here's what that fabric looks like. This is the Deco Stitch Elements. So I'm not sure what the name of this colorway is exactly, but if I find it, I'll insert it, of course. So this is gonna, I have another half yard of this, and it's gonna be a 2-inch border all the way around the edge. And then I have a yard of this print from the line, which is this big like floral print here. It's actually this one right here. In the, like the taupe color. Oh, sorry, my dog just knocked the tripod. There we go. So this is going to be a 6-inch border all the way around. As it is, if I were to stitch it together without any of the borders, the finished size would be like 53 by 53, which is really small. So once I add these two, it'll bring it up to like just over 60 by 60. So that's much more that, like, that's the lap size quilt that I like is like a 60 by 60-ish, somewhere, some variation on that size. So I chose to add borders. And then the backing is going to be this print from the line, which is this really cute pink acorn print. Let's see if I can find it. Oh yeah, it's right here in the corner, excuse me. So it kind of matches the mauve color. It'll just kind of continue that kind of rosy tone onto the back. So yeah, I mean, that was a surprise to me as much as it is to you that I started and almost finished an entire other quilt that I had no intention of working on at all. But I'm in love with the result. And in fact, my long arm quilter called me and said there was a cancellation in November. And so she was like, do you want that one? And I said, duh. So I will have a quilt ready to be quilted in November, likely this one. If not some other surprise quilt that I start and finish this month. So originally I had planned to work on my embroidery flowers quilt to bring out my favorite sweater quilt and just kind of continue on all of my current whips, and I did none of that. So Amy, I know you said that every time you see my embroidery flowers quilt, it leads you into temptation. I do apologize for that, but you get a break this month because I don't have any progress to show you. I didn't put block 7 together like I said I was going to. It's still sitting on my other design wall over there. And I didn't bring out my my favorite sweater quilt. So my bad. But I mean, I did work on one of my other whips. I did make two other blocks for my color palette quilt. So I'll show you those real quick, and then we'll get into the last little bit of haul I have to show you, and then we'll go over plans. Okie dokie. So here is one of the blocks that I got done for my color palette quilt. Very cute, very exciting, very floral. Love it. And here's the next one. This block is super cute. So I'll bring you in for a close-up. This print is like, I think it was a Halloween print from a while ago because it's, you know, candy, but it's got, like, look at the little teeth. One of them has a cavity and he feels very bad, and the other one is very upset about it. And then if you look over here next to it, there's this candy corn here that had a chunk bitten out of it, and he's equally sad. So there's a whole story going on with the candy print here, but it's very cute. So I got this one done. I had to include it. So that last little whip update is the perfect segue into my haul, because I finally decided what color fabric I want between all of my color palette blocks, and I went and purchased it. And so that is this beautiful lavender print from Juicy Juice for Andover Fabrics. So Juicy Juice has some pretty cool, I really like their fabric lines, but this print, I saw it first in like a yellowy gold color, and I kind of was like, ooh, that's the one. And then I saw the purple and I was like, no, that's the one. Because like I said, when it comes to like backgrounds and sashing, if I don't want a plain white. I just don't. I think it's boring. So I knew I wanted some sort of color. I just kind of, when I went into the shop, I had no idea exactly what color I was looking for. I was just waiting for something to jump out at me, and then this did. So this is what I got. 3 yards of this so I can put it between all the blocks. And I will take some pictures and some video of this kind of laid out so you can get an idea of what this is going to look like between the blocks. I think I'm going to do like 1.5 inch sashing between all of them. And of course they are, like I said, they are going to be set on point on the diagonal. So I will insert some photos and some video of what that will look like so you can get an idea of how this is going to fit into that quilt. So the last thing that I have to show you this month is just, I got a couple of fat quarters, just so you guys can see kind of what's out there that I want to show you. So I got these two little blenders, and these are both from Ruby Star Society, my Ride or Die Ruby Star Society. I don't know what it is about them. I guess it's their color palette mixed with like their prints, and of course they love a metallic like this star. And so I don't know, I just love them. So I got this beautiful gold yellow with the metallic star, and then I've got this magenta kind of like party hat print, and then those little party hat pom-poms are also gold metallic. Just love it. It makes me, I don't know, I need to know where the people that design for Ruby Star Society get their inspiration from, because I love everything that they put out. So I need to be where they are. And the last two little bits of haul I have to show you are these two fat quarters. So the designer for the fabric, for the background of my Christmas stocking that you would have seen in the last video, is Dear Stella, and they have this fun little line of cats doing silly stuff. And so they came out with another couple of fun prints, and they're like digital themed, right? So we've got this one that's all phones, like cats on a phone. Look, they've even got like their own little like scandalous photos with cat butts. And I'm assuming that the screens are cracked because the cats bat them off the table, right? In typical cat fashion. My cat fortunately doesn't do that, but that's the story in my head behind why there's cracked screens. But yeah, this is just a cute little like phone print with cats taking selfies and scandalous pictures of their butts. And then here's this other one, which is all about cats sitting on keyboards. Again, I've been very lucky that my cat Hef does not tend to sit on keyboards, but when they do, obviously they type fun stuff. So they all kind of say cat related things. Look, this one says cat butt. That's funny. And then there's another one that says, here's my favorite one. Dogs are stupid. That's clever. I don't know who designed this line, but it's clever and I love it, and I hope they do more. Very cute. So that's my quilting update for the month of September 2022. Not what I was expecting it to be. There was a lot of surprises in there for me. I hope they were as equally surprising for you. So maybe next month I'll finally be able to stick to a plan. So because I did not do my block 7 of my Embroidery Flowers quilt, I need to get caught up. And my plan, so I have 7, 8, and 9 left to do. And my plan is to just muscle through those last 3 blocks so I can finish that quilt top. Sorry, Amy, you're gonna see it again next month. So the other thing I wanna try and do, and again, this might be a little ambitious on top of the other 3 blocks that I wanna do for Embroidery Flowers quilt, is my color palette quilt. I think I have 13 or 14 blocks done, and my goal is to do 32. I wanna do my layout with 30, so it'll be a rectangular quilt when I finish it. I want to do 32 total. So I've just kind of been doing them casually, just like whenever I think about it, but the blocks are so fast that I want to try and finish those blocks too next month. So we'll see if I can accomplish both of those, because if I can, then I basically have 2 more quilt tops that are done. And oh, and then of course I'm gonna finish stitching this together and put the borders on the Quatrefoil Shimmer quilt. That's gonna be done this weekend. That's gonna be so fast. It's just these 4 rows, 2 borders done. So if I manage to get all of those 3 things checked off, then we'll figure something else out. It's not like I don't have other projects to work on. I've got at least 3 other projects that I really need to get back out and work on again. So if I can finish the 3 that I'm planning to, then I can start working on some older stuff. That's it. That's everything. Let me just double check here. Yeah, that's all of it. So, in the description, I will have linked all the patterns that I've used, all the fabric that I've talked about, and then all of the shops that I've mentioned. So if you want to go shopping, feel free. And of course, if you have any questions at all, you can reach out to me at my Gmail account that I've put in the description box. I have my Instagram linked down below, so you can reach out to me on Instagram and private message me there if you have any questions. You can follow me on Instagram where I post my floss tube updates, my quilters updates, and then my reading updates, plus kind of, you know, a little sprinkling of life in between everything else. But that's everything I have to share with you this month. And thank you again for stopping by. I do always appreciate everybody who stops by. Say hi in the comments, because I want to say hi to you as well. And I will see you at the end of October. Bye.